So how could the budget be cut? Well, one pro-European think tank has come up with proposals for a 10% cut, which would save the UK £10 billion over 7 years. Phillip Souta is Director of Business for New Europe.
It would be possible to radically reform the budget. In principle, if you started with a blank sheet of paper, it wouldn't look anything like what it does now. We released a paper a little while ago setting out a budget that saved 10% of the entire 7-year budget and sort of hundreds of billions of euros, and you could do that by doing three things. Firstly, you could reduce the common agricultural policy by about 50% to the richer countries and concentrate on rural development. Secondly, you could change the way we do cohesion policy, also known as regional policy. At the moment, the poorer regions of the richest member states still get funding, and in the fiscal climate as it is now, I just don't think it's possible to continue on that basis. Thirdly, that would mean that you could spend more on infrastructure such as broadband and transport, which adds a huge amount of value on a pan-European basis, and research and development. If you look at Europe's productivity compared to the United States and Japan, it's falling, and that's where we should be focusing the fire of the EU budget.
But do you have any sense that there could be a consensus forming around any of those proposals?
Well, that's an entirely different question. Politics is the art of the possible, and whilst everyone, I think, has been expressing the desire to cut the budget, that may not be possible. The Deputy Prime Minister made quite a hard-headed speech this morning where he said he would like to see the budget cut, but again, it may not be possible. And the ideal budget is a different question to what is actually achievable.
Who do you think is blocking this?
Well, every EU member state has its own agenda. So the newly exceeded member states, such as Poland and Hungary, have got large agricultural sectors. They don't want to see cuts to the common agricultural policy, and neither does France, although that's likely to change over the coming years as France actually pays more into CAP than it receives. The United Kingdom has a position whereby without the rebate we would be paying disproportionately into the budget, but other member states aren't so keen on that. Germany wants to make sure that we spend as much on research and development, isn't so keen on the common agricultural policy. And then you've got the whole regional question. So every state has its sort of particular agenda, and that's one of the reasons why the status quo is probably where we're going to end up at the end of these negotiations.
Phillip Souta. Well, the MP Stephen Baker is